Before we get to this Dragon Ball Daima update, right now back in stock for the month of June, it is Father's Day, the father and son classic Dragon Ball shirt here exclusively on the Geekdom 101 store. The father and son culminating in their great battle in the last two chapters of Dragon Ball Super. Ultra Instinct Goku and Gohan Beast comes in multiple sizes all the way up to 5X, multiple colors, and ships all over the world. I'll leave a link down below in the comments. Do not wait. This will only be up for a limited time because it's 30% off now for a limited time, but the shirt itself will only be up, and hoodies and everything else, for a limited time to commemorate Father's Day 2024. Do not wait. Click the link down below and get yours today. You won't get it anywhere else. Dragon Ball fans are really mad.
I'm really mad.
Trigger warning. I will tell you that everybody knows that Dragon Ball Daima is coming later this year. And everybody knows that it's going to be Toriyama's final project that he worked on when he was alive involving Dragon Ball. And everybody knows that it's the 40th anniversary of the original Dragon Ball manga beginning publication in 1984. Except that's not exactly true. The reality is, no, everybody does not know. People in online communities, people who follow this channel, or those who are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Reddit, and different communities all across the vast World Wide Web, they know about Dragon Ball Daima, but the general public, the casual fan, the person who just plays the Dragon Ball video games, doesn't really go online too much, or at least not often enough to get this information, has no idea what's going on. And once again, just like with Dragon Ball Superhero, the finger can be pointed squarely at Japan for their absolutely abysmal lack of promotion for Dragon Ball Daima. And I personally find it very strange that the only information that has come out about Daima has been two short trailers and some character art drawn by Toriyama, revealed in the final quarter of 2023, and a little bit more information back in January, and that's it. There's been nothing out there about the plot, the characters, or the direction that's been officially released to the public. It's been places online through various leakers and various different content creators that people even have an idea, even if it's a brief idea, of what the story is. Meanwhile, Japan has not said a word. We didn't even get anything on Goku Day. You would think that would be the day you show something, anything, and we got nothing. Incredible. And interestingly enough, this has led to this very strange civil war among some Dragon Ball fans and One Piece fans, because Dragon Ball fans feel like they're getting the short end of the stick. They feel like Toei Animation is putting more into the 25th anniversary of One Piece than they are the 40th anniversary of Dragon Ball. Well, first of all, let me get this out of the way. I've never seen One Piece before, but I am planning on starting the manga later this year for the first time. So I have no opinion on One Piece. However, I do find Dragon Ball and One Piece people fighting with each other to be, if I'm being honest, kind of childish and kind of immature. Especially since when Akira Toriyama passed away, Eiichiro Oda, the One Piece creator, said some really emotional and powerful things about the man whom he idolized. If anything, One Piece can be seen as a love letter to manga and to Toriyama himself, because so many elements of Dragon Ball are in One Piece. And I say that respectfully because Toriyama influenced so many people across the world, including Oda, who has taken that and created his own gigantic cash cow. I am not going to engage in Dragon Ball versus One Piece debates, especially since I have no opinion on One Piece because I haven't read it yet, but maybe soon I will. With that being said, however, I understand Dragon Ball fans' frustration because we're living through it once again. Here we have Toei Animation. Dragon Ball was a major hit before One Piece even started. It is an international phenomenon, and while One Piece might be the current big dog of manga in Japan and the biggest priority to Toei Animation in Japan, internationally, Dragon Ball has been around longer and has integrated itself culturally to many countries around the world. And the sentiment is understanding. I don't think that people should be mad at One Piece for just being successful if you're a Dragon Ball fan, but I do understand wanting to know more about Daima because unfortunately people have already formed their opinions on this show without even seeing a single episode. Not a day goes by where I don't see a comment where somebody refers to it as GT 2.0, which is completely false and completely untrue. Borrowing an idea from GT, making Dragon Ball Daima GT 2.0 is no different than when Dragon Ball Super Broly coming out, them taking a movie exclusive character that was not in the manga and having Toriyama recreate him for Dragon Ball Super, and yet when that movie came out, everybody was almost unanimously losing their minds over the greatness that was Dragon Ball Super Broly. And yet, you would think that after the success of Broly internationally, that Toei Animation and Shueisha would have learned their lesson and promoted Dragon Ball better for the follow-up, 2022's Dragon Ball Super Superhero, and yet the promotion for that was also abysmal. It sometimes feels like content creators and people in the community, me, you guys, people all over the web, it feels like word of mouth spreading through us is doing their job for them. And it's not our job to do their job for them. But it's pretty damn disgusting that here we are in the middle of 2024 when the new series is starting months away and we barely know anything officially from the accounts about the plot, the characters, or where this series is going to go. I'm not asking for spoilers. I don't want to know everything. I want to go into this and be surprised and be entertained, as do most Dragon Ball fans. But they haven't even really told us the premise for the show. Let's not forget that for previous films and Dragon Ball projects, we saw the villains early on. Maybe not the secret final villain like Cell Max, but we saw the Gammas. We saw more information and we're given more information, and yet here with Dragon Ball Daima we are months away from the premiere and it's almost like Japan is covering their eyes and ears and not really putting any effort into promoting this. Now, you could blame Toei Animation, and really Shueisha is likely the cause, and people have already come out and stated that Shueisha is the ones that are really behind the project that was Dragon Ball Daima, formerly called Dragon Ball Magic, so you could blame them. Either way, it doesn't matter if you blame Toei or Shueisha. To me, I have no love lost with either company because I feel like this is a major problem with the Dragon Ball IP. Dragon Ball is internationally known, and they know that. Akio Ioku knows that, the executives at Toei and Shueisha know this, and yet they choose to not really put the hype train at full blast like they did with Broly. Why is it that with Broly, there was new information coming out every week, interviews, some character information, models coming out, yet with this upcoming new series, which is being hailed as the final Dragon Ball project that Toriyama worked on when he was alive, being almost ignored? To me, that's bad business. I've always felt that Dragon Ball has never been able to fully capitalize on its popularity. It's always been insanely popular and a part of the culture with everyone, all ages, multiple generations, and yet for some reason Japan never wants to look beyond its own borders and never really wants to capitalize on these thirsty fans that want more. It doesn't make sense to me that Dragon Ball isn't bigger and isn't putting out a multitude of manga, anime, and video games every year. And the big hype for this year is really mostly Sparking Zero, because at least with that, we're getting information, and somewhat frequently. God bless Bandai for that. And a new anime, which people have wanted since 2018, is barely spoken of, and all we get are some poorly photoshopped images from Toei and Shueisha to hype up the show. It's absolutely embarrassing, and I don't understand it, and I never will. We have numbers to prove this. I'm not a biased Dragon Ball fanboy. I can prove to you that Dragon Ball is incredibly successful. I can prove to you that both Super Hero and Broly did very well all over the world, not just in Japan. America, Canada, Australia, Latin America had millions upon millions of fans eager to see what the next adventure would be. And yet, that's with very low promotion. Here we have Daima, which could actually be more important because it's part of the legacy of Akira Toriyama, and yet we have nothing. I understand the frustration. I don't think you should point the finger at One Piece or try to have wars with One Piece fans just because One Piece is getting priority with Toei. Shueisha may be the problem, but ultimately, it's another example of Dragon Ball getting the shaft and a business decision that to me makes absolutely no sense. I am expecting more Daima information to be released in July at some point, although I'm not going to guarantee anything because who knows what their plan is or what their business model is. But to me, their business model has been absolute garbage, and if it wasn't for the popularity of Dragon Ball, it would be a failure because of their lack of promotion. I cannot tell you how many times I have been here scratching my head trying to figure out what Toei and Shueisha's plans are and why they make such strange decisions. And it's not even like a Japanese culture thing. It's specifically with the Dragon Ball IP. I have seen so many people that want the Dragon Ball IP to be taken away from Toei. And I understand that. I really do. It's just never going to happen because this contract has been in place since the 80s and it's not going anywhere. Toei's too big and they're not going to give up Dragon Ball. And also bear in mind that Capsule Corp Tokyo, Akio Iyoku's company that's supposed to be in charge of the anime and games, was not even a factor when this series was first being commissioned a couple of years ago. So hoping for Toei to give up Dragon Ball to another studio is like hoping for world peace. It's probably never going to truly happen, no matter how much we all think it should. And that's unfortunate, but that's the world that we live in. So regardless if you want to point the finger at Toei or Shueisha, the promotion has once again been a joke. And it's too bad because a lot of very talented people are working on this show and they want so many eyeballs on the fantastic work they're doing on it, and yet Japan keeps twiddling its fingers. Some things never change.